Once upon a time, in a quiet suburban neighborhood, there lived a man named Jason. Not a hero, not a villain, just a man with big dreams and bigger mistakes. Jason was married to Lana, a woman of gentle strength. She wasn't flashy or demanding, but her loyalty was unshakable. They had been married for nearly 9 years, weathering storms together, layoffs, financial struggles, and the loss of a child they never got to hold. Through it all, Lana never left Jason's side. To the outside world, they were a solid couple, two halves of a whole, but inside, Jason was restless. He longed for a life beyond their small house and modest incomes. And then Maya came back into his life. Maya wasn't just anyone. She was a blast from Jason's past, a college flame who had left the small town for the glittering lights of Miami. She was unlike other ladies Jason dated in the past. Maya was everything Jason was not: wealthy, glamorous, and living a life of luxury, owning spas, jet setting across countries, and wearing designer clothes like armor. When Maya reached out after years of silence, Jason felt his world shifts. Their messages started innocently: old jokes, nostalgic memories. But soon, her words grew warmer, more flirtatious. She told him she admired the man he'd become, asked if he was really free now. Jason swallowed the truth. He was still married to Lana, but he didn't tell Maya. He lied. Not because he did not love Lana, but he wanted a taste of the good life he lacked. He said he was single. Their relationship grew deeper, and Lana noticed the change in Jason. Maya wanted to visit. She wanted to see the man she thought was free, free from responsibilities, free from attachments. Jason panicked. His home was a testament to a life shared with Lana: wedding photos, books they collected together, her favorite teas on the kitchen shelf, and most importantly, his wife, Lana. How could he let Maya see all that? So he asked Lana something no husband should ever ask his wife. A female visitor who happens to be an investor wants to come. He said, I need you to please pretend to be my cousin. Just for one night. This will benefit us both. Lana's eyes filled with disbelief. The woman who had stood by him through everything was now being asked to lie for his convenience, to become a prop in his dangerous little game. But Lana, ever quiet and enduring, said nothing. She just nodded. The night Maya arrived, Jason's house was fully transformed. He nervously set the table, trying to ignore the tremor in his hands. Lana entered the room wearing a simple black dress, smiling softly, assuming the role of the cousin. She was polite, calm, but Jason noticed the tension in her jaw, the weight of the secrets she carried. Maya was dazzling, almost too dazzling. She walked into the room like she owned the lights, her heels clicking softly on the tiled floor, each step deliberate, practiced. Her smile was wide, the kind that showed just the right amount of teeth, but held just a little too long, like she was daring someone to question its sincerity. Her laughter rang out a few seconds too loud, too eager, as if she were trying to fill up every quiet space before it could turn awkward. Her gesture seemed choreographed, but not quite sincere. She leaned in towards Jason when he spoke, laughed at jokes that weren't funny, touched his arm casually as if she did done it 100 times before. To anyone else, it might have looked like harmless charm, but to Lana, it felt like an invasion, a performance even. Jason played host, juggling conversations, laughing at Maya's jokes, trying to appear relaxed. Lana, on the other hand, poured the wine, served dessert, and kept quiet. After dinner, Maya left excited, having spent some time in the home of Jason. Lana, on the other hand, cleared up after which she looked up at Jason, voice barely above a whisper. I hope the money is worth it because that's all you have left. And then she went to bed. Lana had always trusted her instincts. It was something her mother told her long ago. When something doesn't feel right, it probably isn't. So, when Jason started acting differently, longer phone calls in hushed tones, late nights blamed on investor meetings, and a new cologne he never wore before, she paid attention, not with accusations, but quiet, deliberate observation. She had heard Jason mention Maya a few times in passing. She's just backing the new business, he said, shrugging like it was no big deal. But Lana had seen the way he smiled when he said her name. It wasn't the smile of a grateful businessman. It was the smile of a man who was hiding something or someone. One evening, after Jason left for yet another strategy session, Lana picked up her phone, the glow of the screen flickering against her anxious face. She typed Maya's name into the search bar. Within minutes, her gut feelings were confirmed. Photos from old social events, blurry shots at parties, tags in forgotten Facebook albums. Jason and Maya had history. Not just a business connection, but something personal, intimate even. As she scrolled through the photos, her heart began to sink. The timelines overlapped too neatly. Maya didn't just show up after the business began. She had always been there, in the background, a ghost from Jason's past who never really left. Lana set aside her phone and sat in silence for a long time. The kind of silence that buzzed in your ears. Betrayal didn't always arrive with shouting or slammed doors. Sometimes it crept in like fog, quiet, thick, and suffocating. She could have confronted him, demanded answers, thrown things, screamed, but Lana was tired. Tired of pretending she didn't notice. Tired of being the understanding wife. Tired of giving chances to a man who had already made his choice. She spent the night packing, not in rage, but with the quiet resolve of someone who finally realized her worth. One by one, her clothes disappeared into suitcases. She gathered her favorite books, the ones that had been with her through every stage of life, even the little plants she had nurtured from seedlings. She took them too. They had grown under her care, just like she had, and they didn't deserve to be left behind in a house built on lies. 2 days later, Jason returned home to silence. No humming in the kitchen, no scent of Lana's favorite coconut hair cream lingering in the hallway. Just absence. A loud, echoing absence. At first, he thought she had stepped out. Maybe a quick errand. Maybe visiting a friend. But then he saw the empty closet, the missing books, the bare vanity, and on the living room table, a note written in Lana's delicate script. You already chose. Don't look for me. Jason froze. The words hit him like a slap. Short, sharp, and final. He dialed her number straight to voicemail. He sent a text, then another, then three more. No response. He tried her sister, her best friend, her co-worker. Nobody knew where she was. Or, if they did, they weren't telling. By nightfall, panic set in. The walls of the house felt closer, heavier. He sat on the edge of their bed, his bed now, he realized, and stared at the emptiness. This wasn't a fight. This wasn't a face. Lana had left, not for a break, not for air, for good. And in her absence, Jason finally saw the full weight of what he had done. Not just the affair, but the countless little ways he had taken Lana for granted. The silences, the half truths, the emotional distance. But it was too late. Lana had chosen herself, and she wasn't looking back. What Jason didn't know was that Lana had been quietly preparing, as she had sensed the change in him and suspected he was being unfaithful. She had screenshots of his messages to Maya, his lies, his pleas. She had photos of them, wedding rings, shared memories. She had even recorded the moment Jason asked her to pretend to be his cousin. And one fateful day, she sent it all to Maya. When Maya saw the truth, she was beyond shocked. She blocked Jason immediately and was beyond determined to ruin him for playing games with her heart. She called him every name in the book, told him he was nothing but a liar and a coward. Jason's dream crumbled. His chance at a new life vanished. Jason lost his home as he couldn't keep up with the payments. His friends stopped answering his calls. His job was affected by the scandal. He found himself alone, staring into space and replaying the choices that had destroyed everything he had worked for. Sometimes chasing a dream means losing the reality that grounds you. Sometimes the cost of one lie is everything you hold dear. And sometimes the greatest love stories are the ones we betray ourselves for. Don't ever ask someone to fake love because when the truth comes, it doesn't just break hearts, it shatters words. I hope you enjoyed the story. Let me know in the comments section if Lana, in fact, did the right thing or what you would have done differently if you were Lana. Also, please like, subscribe, and share.